How do you feel about Jim Jones saying that Game told him early on that he always planned to betray 50 in G Unit as soon as he got on?
I mean, like I say, I steer away from the feelings, stick to the facts. And the fact is, Game told me the very exact same thing. There was a time when I was in LA, friendly with Game. I knew no G Unit members, never met them, never encountered them. Was only generally aware of their success because they were that big. And I was listening to Big Boy in the morning, and G Unit was on the radio, and they said they made an appeal. They was like, "Hey, shout out to nigga Game. We're trying to bring you home to G Unit." He was on Aftermath at the time. In my personal experience with Game, he was very displeased in this situation, and he would commonly say, "Man, I don't care if Dre dropped me tomorrow, Puffy gonna sign me the next day." Shout out to D-Mac. He was signed to D-Mac, Desperado Publishing from Mansfield, and he had a relationship with Puffy that had Game confident that if his situation with with Dre ceased to exist, Puffy would step in and provide some, restoration. So at that time, 50 and G Unit was local on the radio. They made the appeal. I remember calling Game. I'm like, cuz 50 and G Unit, they're on the radio talking about come home and all that. And CDC prison calls. That's crazy. How do I shut it off? So Games, his reaction to me was, man, I'm at the airport. I can't really talk right now. He was like, but that nigga just want me on the team so he could have the West Coast on lock. He was like, I'm 50 Cent. I'm Eminem. I'm Dr. Dre. He was like, you 50 Cent. You Eminem. You Dr. Dre. He's like, fuck that nigga, man. I ain't doing that shit. And then a few weeks later, he had made it official that he was G Unit. And I can remember him going through the transition of actually appreciating 50 and telling me on a personal level that 50 was the realest nigga he met in the game. And then shortly thereafter, he was telling me shit is cool. He figured it out. It's just business. It ain't all the love he thought. And he was finna take them down. And right when I became affiliated with them with no assistance of his, without his knowledge, he used to try to warn me off top that G Unit was on his way down and that he was going to help participate in bringing about their demise, and that I should think twice about embarking upon affiliation or association with them. So that's one thing I can say. I believe Jim Jones was telling the truth on. That's crazy, man. I can't understand. I can't talk right now.
Maybe if you put it on the do not disturb.
Let me try that. But look, no, the phone ain't. Look, the phone ain't even ringing. That's the laptop ringing. I don't even know how you on the jail phone that can call back that many times. Let's go. Let's see if that works. I put it on D&D.
So at that time though, like, did he start to show some jealousy that you got down with G Unit as well? Because he was the only West Coast cat?
Oh, definitely. I can recall one of my first, if not the very first time, this might have been the very first time encountering him after making an allegiance with the G Unit niggas. We was at the forum at the Summer Jam. If you can recall, it was a performance when the G Unit members came out riding dirt bike motorcycles. They all had different colors. They had the helmets, the whole suit to match their bike. I had just met 50 like a day or two before. So I happened to be privy to end up backstage right before they took the stage. I had yet to meet Lloyd Banks. He was in the corner. He had the whole green motorcycle shit, helmet on. Young Buck was backstage. 50 was backstage. Game as well. When I entered this backstage area, there was no available seating other than a seat directly opposite of Game. So when I sat down, he and I were in direct eye path of one another. The small room was full of people, including D-Mac from Desperado, Mansfield. And at that point, I remember when I walked in the room, Young Buck was like, he didn't expect me to walk in that room, although he had just been responsible for establishing these relationships for me. At that moment, he was surprised to see me walk in. He like, what you doing in here, nigga? I'm like, shit, just soaking this real shit up. I got introduced to Lloyd Banks for the first time. He was extremely humble and focused. I remember he had his helmet up. He was like mumbling lyrics to himself, walking around. Took the time to meet me, whatever. Then I was sitting in my seat right across from Game. And I keep trying to catch Game. I know Game very well. This is my homeboy. Keep trying to catch his eye, and he won't even catch my eye. And I can recall the seat right next to him becoming available. And I hopped up out my seat immediately and sat next to him and grabbed like a handful of his waist area right here, all the fat love handles, pinching it hard as I could. I used to thiz hard back then. So the thiz was in the pinch and all that. I remember grabbing that fat saying, nigga, you see how these niggas accepted me in here? Nigga, you better not act like you ain't my peoples, like you ain't happy to see me back here. Because he never acknowledged my presence in the room. And I remember him saying, nah, man, I'm nervous as fuck, man. 17,000 people out there. I ain't never been in front of a crowd this large, man. It ain't like that. But I can truly attest to the fact I believe he was jealous. I think his real feelings was like, what the fuck is you doing back here? All the effort I went through to keep you out of this, and you still found yourself in the middle of this shit. How the fuck did you do that?
Because he was feeling special that he was the West Coast cat that was going to bring everything back, and now he done got on with the hottest motherfuckers in the game.
I'm the only goofy motherfucker that didn't realize that's the way you're supposed to feel and that's the way you're supposed to operate. As soon as I got my look, you see my first G Unit mixtape, I had about 8-9 niggas on the cover with me. I think that's how you supposed to do the spotlight. You're supposed to hog it up. Oh, my mama. I ain't gonna even knock him for that. Nipsey told it to me perfectly. He was like, man, Sparta, just think about you got a product for sale. What in the fuck in your mind would make you bring a equally quality product or a better product to the marketplace with you, a competitor? He said it just don't make no sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction when he told you he was going to betray G Unit? Because that had to sound wild to you, right? Like you was like, damn, these motherfuckers is putting you on. They seem like solid.
He told me that fuck them before he joined G Unit when 50 and them was first on the radio saying, come on home. And then, like I told you, he went through a phase to where he was saying 50 was the realest nigga in the game. He was actually happy.
Right.
50 had stepped in, saved the situation, it had new life. And then once I became affiliated, I can remember pulling up on him on Brazil, and I don't know if I had just told him or he was already aware. I just remember him trying to shit on the whole situation and predict the downfall and trying to advise me to steer clear. That's about as much as I can actually place factually.
Okay, so, and this was like after some time that he had already been down with G Unit. So he felt I guess some energy from 50 and the other guys already.
Yes, there was something that took place in their interactions where he started saying, oh, I'm cool now. I know what it is. It ain't no love. It's just business.
Okay. And so it wasn't like he just joined. His plan had already been all along that I'm gonna take G Unit down.
Before he joined, and there was an invitation to join, it was fuck that. G Unit is not big enough for me. Then there was a period of time after he joined where he humbled himself and was appreciative of being affiliated and humble and praising 50 to me. Then somewhere down the line, he developed a lack of appreciation. And when I became affiliated, he was trying to deter me and predicting the fall of G Unit and telling me it was a bad idea and kind of hinting to what his intentions and his plans were. Then he went on the campaign, and initially he used to try to diss them and in the same song give me props.
Right.
I tried to accept that, but as we in my group growingly was pushing G Unit Crip, G Unit West, it became a personal irritant for him to be G Unit. And he never made the consideration of just calling people out by name and not dissing G Unit, to where I inserted myself in the back and forth because he dissing G Unit and I'm pushing it.
Right.
It's just the nature of being down. So that's how I began to take it personal, because he was doing songs like dissing them and then saying, but I roll out the blue carpet for Sparta Low because at least I know he gonna shoot back, shit like that. And then It got to a point where I started dissing and all that.